Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN 2753, and this is a 2019 Canadian car. Only 71 of those exist. One GO, which is smoky granite mica with LA30 red interior. 73,000 kilometers, so it's about 45,000 miles for $76,800 Canadian, which is about 54,000 US dollars. So pretty fair price for the mileage, all things considered. Production statistics. So as I said, there's only 71 Canadian cars that exist, and there are a lot of them that are already in the United States because they're pretty easy to import. But 9 of those were smoky granite mica. And of those 9, 6 had red and 3 had black interior. So this is one that has red interior, so it's one of those 6. For 2019, there were only 6 cars for 2019, and only 2 were smoky granite mica. One had black, one had red interior, so this is the one with the red interior. That makes this car pretty much a true one-of-one car for 2019, but it's rare in general because it's a Canadian car. So this car was built May 22nd, 2018. It had an in-service date of July 13th of 2018. It has engine 2078830, so it'd be easy to tell. All you have to do is pull off the upper intake cover, or the upper engine cover, the plastic cover, and look for the black and white label on the blue intake manifold, and it should read 2078830. Canadian cars, they're a little bit different for the North American market especially than the US cars. Every single Canadian car had the cold weather package. So that includes a factory heated steering wheel, rear side shades, a power rear sunshade. It has heated rear seats. It has the radio controls and HVAC controls in the center console in the rear. Has a power rear trunk, has a block heater, a bunch of things that we didn't get otherwise. It has windshield washers on the headlights, just, a bunch of little things like that we didn't get. They also do not have the SOS button on the top, so they don't have the InTune Connect Suite, anything like that. So you can't factory remote start the car or anything like that, like you could with some of the US cars. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. So Carfax, I bought a Canadian Carfax, and they are so expensive. I don't know why, because it doesn't really give you a whole lot more info than the US, but the Canadian Carfax, this looks like it's a 4-owner, no accident car, Ontario car its whole life. And in my US 2026 Carfax, it shows a 4-owner, no accident. I have a 2024 Carfax, and it shows it as a 1-owner, no accident, which I don't think it is correct in that regard. The Epic VIN shows this as a 4-owner, 1-accident car, December 9th of 2021. It's not specified, and I don't know where it's getting its information, but it's the only one of the 3 that's showing it as an accident. AutoCheck doesn't really say, AutoCheck's not very helpful for Canadian cars, so it just shows the registration information. It doesn't count the number of owners, and it doesn't really have ever any accident history unless the car is totaled or salvage title, something like that. But looks like it's probably a 4-owner, 1-accident, Ontario, Canada registered car since new. Previous sales. So Canadian cars, I don't have a lot to go on unless they were publicly listed somewhere in the US or Auto Trader in Canada. And so there's nothing else to go on other than this current listing here in July of 2026, 73,000 kilometers for 77,000 Canadian. So now to the photos. I hate dealers that do stuff like this. They touch the photos up, they highlight them, and they're altered. They're not true to what the car really looks like. So you can see like a lot of the lighting's been messed with, and you can't really get a great idea of the condition of the car. However, this car is sitting on snow tires. So Ontario, snow tires, and you can actually see in some of the fender wells, you can see corrosion, rust on the bolts and things like that. There's no photos of the underside, but I would assume it's pretty rusty underneath considering where it is. And I had to look up on the internet what Ontario uses, because like in the US, there's different areas. They treat the winter roads with different things: beet juice, brine, salt, magnesium chloride, etc. According to the internet, Ontario typically uses sodium chloride, NaCl, or salt to treat the roads in the wintertime. So if it's something else, let me know, but salt is probably the most corrosive for steel and metal in the wintertime. And so I'm not going to talk much more about it, but I believe, my opinion, this car's probably pretty rusty underneath. It does look like it has at least partial paint protection film on the front, and on the passenger side front bumper, you can definitely see some damage. So it's either damage to the PPF or damage to the paint, But speaking of the front bumper doesn't quite match, and it does look like it's been repainted. It's very orange peely. Definitely appears that it is not the original paint on the front. Just overall, looking at the exterior of the car, it looks pretty rough. There's a lot of little chips in it, even for having paint protection film in the front, but the carbon fiber piece on the front, fortunately, isn't too bad. The interior does look pretty good. You know, I don't see really any issues there, any wear points. It really looks pretty solid. Carbon fiber trim, etc. Doesn't look bad, but the outside definitely needs some love. And I think that a good detail like a paint correction would probably correct some of it, but it's not going to fix the chips and things like that. And of course the mismatched paint on the front bumper. So now to the price. This price in this current market, so the Canadian cars always sell for a little bit more because it's, you know, in the US, the owners here, they want what we can't have. Well, you spend the money, the duty to import it, everything, and you can have it. But this car, if it wasn't rusty underneath, it is more than a fair price. It's even a cheap price, but I fear that it's probably pretty bad underneath just looking at the clues. I would say the price, all things considered, it's probably fair in this market. But if it was a clean title, no accidents, and remember it does have an accident that we at least saw on the Epic VIN, but if it's a 2019 clean title, no accident, rust-free example, this is extremely underpriced. This car should probably be in the 60s for the US, so like 90,000 Canadian, something like that. It's extremely cheap, but maybe they're factoring in the fact that it needs some things, and it's, you know, obviously the exterior is pretty rough, so it would be things like that. So now to the service history. So there's not a lot to go on. The Lexus system for the US doesn't work on Canadian cars, and I don't know how else to look up the service history for Lexus Canada. I think you have to be a registered owner to that car in order to see it. But yeah, there's nothing there. I do see a vehicle serviced on the Carfax in March of 2026 at 72,000 kilometers, so just 1,000 kilometers ago. And also what's known in the US as the 26LA05 low pressure fuel pump recall. It's the RM3 or XM3 recall in Canada. And that has not been done, but it says still parts are not available, and that's kind of the consensus. It should be any day now when the parts will be available and you can get those fuel pumps replaced on the car. A fun little fact on this one, on the Carfax, it says, contact Lexus about the recall or visit the Dodge website. Something that didn't jive there. So there's really nothing else to go on. You're gonna have to do a pretty thorough, in-depth pre-purchase inspection on this car, especially underneath, to look at how bad things are. But the valley plate, the shocks, so the 17s through 20s had the adaptive damping shocks that were known to leak. So if those haven't been replaced, you're definitely going to be on the hook for at least a few shocks, if not all of them. The part wasn't updated until sometime around 2021. So if it has shocks that are previously replaced prior to that, then they're still going to leak again. Other than that, just, you know, the usual brakes, tires, fluids, things like that. There's probably a lot to look at here, and you have to assume that nothing has been done unless they can prove it. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? I think on this one I would pass, even at this price. Just all the clues pointing to how rusty it would probably be underneath, the repainted front bumper that doesn't match, the repainted front bumper that doesn't match that is damaged, and just overall it just kind of looks pretty rough. And I think that for me, there's others that would pop up and would be better examples to pursue than this one. And yes, Canadian cars are rare, but there are others out there that would be a much better example to go after than this one. That's my opinion. There's a butt for every seat. If you get this car cheap enough, there does become a point where it becomes worth it. But for me, it's not there, and it's not anywhere around there. So that's what I've got for you guys, VIN 2753. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.